Hello, and thanks for joining me on a very quick video on how each one of the modules in ScenariosX is itself a one-page financial plan. So what I'm going to do is first of all get into the system just like we normally do in these videos by clicking on the login button. Automatically takes me to a page where I can choose what account I want to log into. I'm going to choose our support account, help at plantechhub.com. It's asking me to put in my passkey, and in this particular instance, my passkey is my fingerprint. This allows me really fast as well as secure access to the system. Automatically, as always, takes me to our dashboard to start off the process. So what I'm going to do is go into our most patriotic clients here, George and Martha Washington, and I do so by clicking on the profile icon here. And it automatically takes me to a page called the client profile. The client profile is the very first one-page financial plan that's here in the system. But before I go over it, I just want to point out that, under engage, under suggested actions, this is the original one-page financial plan. In fact, this is the very first page that I designed here into the system. And the idea was to create a page that either by a PDF, one page, or even by just sharing one page, which you can do in our system. So if you're working with me, you may kind of set up a larger world for me to explore because I like that. But if you're working with my dad who's in his 80s, he can log into software, but he's not really looking to spend a lot of time exploring a software program. There's also a chance that it could frustrate him as well. So it's whether digitally or whether via PDF, it's about being able to see the financial plan or see what I'm trying to show him in my suggestions versus his current plan, and be able to do that in one single view. So I'm going to come back to this, and let's just go back to our client profile. So this is our very first one-page financial plan. So this is showing us our current plan. Now, this is obviously, as far as a one-page plan goes, it's really focused on the client's current plan. We're not suggesting actions here at this point, but we are able to see kind of the current plan. This is our default graph. There's many graphs to choose from, but our default graph is looking at what expenses we needed versus what we were able to fund. And in the background, we're able to see the net worth throughout time. Of course, our two main metrics up here, funding rate, which is basically for every dollar we needed, we got 88 cents for what we needed. And then we run a Monte Carlo simulation, which is what gives us the 34% probability of success. So I'm able to kind of look at the client's current plan, and I'm able to look at kind of everything that makes up their net worth, everything that makes up their cash flow. I'm even kind of looking at all their goals here. And so I'm really getting a detailed view of the client's current plan. And that's the extent of the one-page financial plan in this particular view. But let's go ahead and move on to what would be kind of our major engagement modules. So I go under engage. The first engagement module I have is suggested actions. And inside suggested actions, again, this is what we originally designed to kind of go over a financial plan with the client. I know you may not be able to see it great past my mug here in the circle, but again, this page is kind of divided into actions that we can take. So these are decisions or actions that as an advisor or as a client, we have the ability to execute them on ourselves. And we always are pitting those against what if considerations, which are things that we decide that were things that we cannot decide to have ourselves. These are things that we typically cannot control, such as life expectancy or cuts to Social Security, or if there's a big hit on investment, so forth and so on. This is allowing us in real time to stress test the plan that we're running. So as you can see, we're kind of running the plan here. I'm going to go ahead and kind of look at our graph, which is our net worth graph. Again, I can choose between many different types of graphs for many different reasons, depending upon what type of conversation. Same thing with the metrics. I may not need any metrics, but I also have a couple of metrics to choose from because it allows me to kind of make specific what it is I'm talking about. And so I can see that if we've made decisions that are affecting tax rate or affecting what we're doing in savings or debt ratio or interest coverage ratio, again, these are just 4 of dozens of metrics that are available to you. We can see how those changes have affected that plan over time. So this is kind of our main one-page financial plan. Again, it's allowing us to kind of use this page as kind of a hub of navigation throughout the system, and it's allowing us to see not just the current, but allowing us to see suggestions or the effects of those suggestions in one single view. Our third one-page financial plan is the workshop. Now, this was designed to actually be more engaging with the client so that the suggested actions is just looking at outputs. We're not really doing a lot other than kind of turning off some of those check boxes under suggested actions and what if considerations, or maybe changing the graph that we're looking at. However, workshop, that gives us the ability to show them not just the scenarios that we're showing them, such as my recommendations, or I'm kind of going through their expenses with them, or they have suggested to me that, hey, like we're interested in knowing if we can retire early and move to the beach. So I've created a scenario for that, but I don't want them to change it, which is why it's locked down. But of course, any scenario that's here, they have the ability just to simply come in here and duplicate it. And they can either add a scenario themselves or duplicate one that I've given them, giving them the ability to play with it, give them the ability to kind of move things around, give them the ability to change variables or even add things to it, really kind of giving them truly the ability to engage within the system. Again, just like all modules, you have the ability to determine what graphs show up, what graphs do show up or don't show up. So since this is my demo account, I tend to kind of throw in the kitchen sink of things to talk about. But again, you could have no metrics here or have a bunch of metrics here. It'd be completely up to you how you want to have it set up. The last one-page financial plan, I think, is probably the most powerful one, and that is the comparison. The comparison is giving us the ability to not just compare those plans that we were just talking about, not just our current versus our suggested actions, but really we could have created a bunch of different scenarios for different reasons. It could be basic questions that, based upon how we know the client, that we think could come up and allowing us to educate them that these are questions they should have, or it could be something that, just like the early retirement, they've mentioned to us. So let me go ahead and move my mug up here to the kind of middle right over here so it's not in the way. But what I want you to see is that, we have a bunch of different scenarios here, and you can add unlimited scenarios. Any scenarios you click on, you can, because they're all added here at one time. Let me click on the compare, and that way we can see the before and after. But again, it's giving us the ability to kind of decide and look at whatever we want to look at. It's going to change the metrics. It's going to change the graphs that are available. Again, giving you the ability to look at just about any scenario you've created. And of course, you can determine what metrics are here on this page. So, investment legacy, GI, guaranteed income coverage, savings plan contributions, so forth and so on. Again, there are dozens to choose from, and you literally could put all of them on this one particular page if you want to. Again, it's making it a big page to look at, but it's a one-page financial plan that's allowing you to look at a lot of different types of options. So that's really, in our system, as far as ScenariosX goes, that's it when it comes to the one-page financial plan. Basically, whenever we have results that we can give to the client, we've put it in a format that allows you to present it as a one-page financial plan. But of course, there's multiples that you can use in concert with each other to tell a larger story or a more complex story if it's needed. So thanks for joining us today. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on YouTube on how to use ScenariosX. Give us a call or email or chat us up here at support department. And if you'd like to start a free trial of ScenariosX, you can do so easily on our website. We look forward to talking to you. Thank you.